How to become a music producer. Hey, it's Carl here, and I produce music. I have been since I was 16, and I absolutely love it. I do it, I guess you could say, full time, but I have a lot of other businesses that I'm working on, and it can get pretty intense trying to manage it all. But I have multiple albums. I make about $20, maybe $50 a month from producing music at this point, collecting royalties. I think what sets me apart is that I'm very cost effective when it comes to producing music. Initially, I started off purchasing instrumentals and then taking those instrumentals and going to the studio. And from there, I was probably spending $200 to $300 on the studio session, another $100 on the beat, and then it costs money to upload music to some sites, such as CD Baby. So if anybody knows how to be cost effective, it's me. One of the best things that I've learned how to do is to start recording music at the house. One of my weaknesses is vocals. I'm not the greatest at equalizing the vocals and stuff like that, but I can produce a beat, mainly because the samples are already pretty well mastered. But vocals is something that I take to the studio because you need preamps, you need a lot of, probably need Pro Tools, and so it can get pretty interesting at the studio when it comes time to recording vocals. But what I did is, like I said, I started off purchasing beats and writing lyrics. Now I'm at the point where I produce beats, and I do pretty well at it. I make some pretty high quality music. But when it comes to vocals, like I said, I'm going to the studio and paying quite a bit of money just to get those sounding right. I think as you progress through the music industry, you start to get a different sound in your ear. Like you start being able to identify if something sounds right or if it doesn't. And so it comes with time, and you can learn to train your ear. Definitely starting off with the piano is a great idea, understanding keys, and that allows you to get a good sense if the song is like on point. Another common issue that I've had when I was first starting was mixing and mastering. I treated them as separate entities, and really you can get a lot of the mastering done through good mixing. And this is definitely an art. I feel like there's people who are way better at mixing and mastering than me, for sure. But over the years, I've been able to get a better ear for using the right volume and panning and using reverb and learning how to put the bass on top of things so that the song sounds more full. And when it comes to live performances, that is one area that is a weakness for me. I'm not the greatest, but I have performed a lot. I probably performed 50 to 100 times, and actually probably maybe more than that. I've done it as a DJ, but I've also sang my vocals. And there's, like I said, there's people who are far better at it than I am, but it is important to get out there and be with people and make that connection. And it's something that I've learned, that you have to connect with others when you're on stage, and it takes a real skill. But it's a very valuable skill if you can master it. Collaborations are another thing that if you can learn to collaborate with others and be featured on a song with another person, that can really raise your your social credit, or it can just help stimulate the sales if we're looking at it from a business perspective. And if we're talking about music royalties and music licensing, it's important to understand these different forms of income. And what I'll tell you is it's very much passive. Like I said, I've been making albums and stuff like that, and I still continue to get royalties, years later. It's very hands-off. There really isn't a right or wrong way to do it. It just depends on how much you want to pay up front and how much you want them to take a cut of your sales. But they are sales on the tax return. This isn't financial advice or legal advice, but what I've done is I've been able to report those as sales. That's income, right? Music production has changed over the years from 8-track players to record players to iPod to music sales to music royalties and now to music streaming. Streaming is the new thing. It's very rare that you'll find somebody sell an actual album. That's how record labels used to operate, but now it's all about streaming. You're seeing it with TikTok, you're seeing it with Instagram. Myself, I've witnessed personally people around the world using my song Longboard as a background track to their videos, to their short videos, so you can see how it's evolving. So music streaming is going to be the new thing, and there's not much money, to be honest, so that's why you got to make up for it in volume. One of the common things that I've heard is that I don't know how to sing, or I'm tone deaf, or all these things, and I have learned to just turn those people off. I focus on myself, I love what I do, and I'm able to almost make a living at it. And so early on in your career, especially if you're a vocalist, you're going to get a lot of criticism. And what I would say is don't listen to that. If you love what you do, keep doing it. But what I'm getting at is you need to find your own sound. We all have our own unique sound that makes us stand apart. It's when you try to start sounding like others is when you kind of fall in, I don't know, pigeonhole is the right word. But you start living away from your authentic self. So you want to find your own unique sound, and people will resonate with that. They can tell if you're being genuine. So when it comes to coming up with a artist name, what I've been able to do is pick the name brand Wolv Official and just stick with it, right? You wanna own it. That means buying the domain name and sticking with it. Originally, I started off with the artist name Wolfgang, and then Wolv, and then finally I just made it Wolv Official, and then I rolled with it, and I don't ever intend on changing it. And so when it comes to picking an artist name, my middle name is Wolfgang, and I didn't want to do Wolfgang as an artist's name necessarily, so I wanted something more prominent, and it sounded like Wolv Official was what I wanted to pick, so that's what I did, and I just stuck with it, and I'm happy with it. So the power of sampling. When we dive into the world of sampling, there's obviously like legal considerations, but you can use it effectively in your productions. And with the platform by Spotify is called Soundtrap. That's what I'm using to record this episode. That's what I use to make beats. You can sample things. And so when it comes to sampling, just like anything else, you don't want to steal it. You want to work upon it. You want to build upon it. Just like AIR, you don't want to take it and just, you want to improve upon things. Use them as inspiration. But yeah, you can definitely use, samples and stuff like that. But, it's really hard to detect, like, hey, man, that sounds like my sample. As long as you're, like, mixing it up, and that's what I mean by layering things, layering sounds, you stand a pretty good chance of not being detected. And that's what they're doing it for. They're trying to give you inspiration. So you gotta take it and roll with it. But sampling is a new trend that I've noticed, and that's what changed my music game to the next level. And if we're gonna talk about unleashing your creative flow, I would suggest that in order to boost your creativity and overcome creative blocks during your music production, you want to work on things in bursts. I'd say work on them for about an hour at a time and then take a break. Sometimes I need a week of a break, a few days, or a month to come back to a song. But it's allowing that creative juice to flow. See, people can tell when you spend a lot of time on a song. And that's what I do, is I spend a lot of time on my songs. I don't try to like mass produce. With instrumentals I do, but now I'm getting so much into making instrumentals that I take more time on them now. So if you want to unleash the creative flow, you need to give yourself time to process things and come back to them. So take a break. I'm looking at some of the related affiliate programs at the moment for music production. I don't go too deep into music production. I just genuinely enjoy it, and I love helping people out. But Flex Offers has a program here for Splice Sounds. Splice Sounds is a place where you can sample music. I'm seeing it here on the site. And it's let's see if I can get to it. But yeah, Splice says, try Splice today. Subscribe to Splice and get Ableton Live Lite for free. But there's a lot of plugins. like rent to own. This is a great space for anybody who's looking to get into affiliate marketing. I'm probably going to sign up for the program myself and put a link in the description, assuming I get approved and everything like that. But this is one place that if you have the money, you can go in and get some pretty cool, plugins. But I'm looking at here, like at the sounds. You can browse genres, and then so 100% royal free, yours forever, cancel anytime. And sometimes they have a digital audio workstation with these things, but I don't think that Splice does. It's kind of like Soundtrap, where you're able to go in and import these loops fairly easily. But I will see what I can do about putting a link in the description, and then hopefully in the future I can do an affiliate recommendation for it. I remember paying a lot of money for music equipment, especially early on. I've tried a lot of different microphones, a lot of interfaces, a lot of software, digital audio workstations. I bought guitars, pianos, and so I've learned over the years what works and what doesn't. I currently use a Yeti microphone. There's so many different microphones. I mean, there's people that it's big money, but you definitely want a good microphone. You'll notice that there's a difference between a bad mic and a good mic. So you just really want to try to just find the best deal. But I'm looking here, I'm seeing you can get microphones or any other equipment on Amazon, Sweatwater, Guitar Center, Musician Friend, Tomin, B&H Photo Video. You can go to eBay, Craigslist. I think there's music stores. I like Best Buy. I like getting microphones there. Sometimes they have some pretty good stuff. But you do want to invest in music equipment. The question is, can you keep it? Like, can you stay with it? Do you love music that much? Can you stay with the production process long enough to get that return back on the investment? But we all love music, and so, I'm not going to tell anybody not to go buy anything, right? Because you need the equipment to make the sound, and so it's a lot of fun, man. I love it, but yeah. When I think about passion and exploration, I have been doing this for a long time. It's evolved. I thought I was going to be a drummer. I thought I was going to be a guitarist. And I think what happens is you eventually find what you love. Mine was producing music on the computer. So it evolved from, being in a band to really taking the career into my own hands. And so I have explored various genres. Right now I'm pop music and electronic music and house music. That's kind of like what I do. That's what I love. It's what moves me. What truly moves me, and so it's gonna evolve. I started eventually just making beats, and I never thought that I'd be making beats. That's why I was buying them in the first place, because I didn't know how. But now I've grown and I've learned to like making beats, and I just love it. And a takeaway from this is, maybe learn music theory, play an instrument to build a strong foundation for your music producing journey. And the best thing I've been able to do is to learn the piano. I started off with the guitar, the acoustic guitar. And so music theory is pretty darn important, but it's not everything. And another takeaway is digital audio workstations. You want to familiarize yourself with production software. Digital audio workstations or DAWs like Ableton Live, Fruity Loop Studio, Logic Pro, and I currently use an online digital audio workstation. That's where I saw the movement heading. But there's Soundtrap, there's BandLab, there's a bunch of them coming up, and you can produce from your phone too. There's apps, but I don't do that. I prefer a desktop. Another takeaway is education and collaboration. Remember to seek knowledge from online courses, workshops, YouTube. Collaborate with other musicians and gain valuable feedback to improve your skills. Always be improving. And another takeaway is create a portfolio showcasing your best work and actively seek constructive feedback and refine your production and style. So I like getting feedback, but it's easy to get caught in the trap of you sounding the best or better or whatever. And so I put stuff up. I get excited. You work hard on it. You put it on YouTube. And sometimes people don't come for a little bit. Sometimes you get comments right away.
but it takes time. Like, I think it's taken years for me to get thousands of views on my songs. And so, you know, you don't necessarily need feedback, but it does help, because as long as you're committed to doing what you love anyway, you know, you're going to keep making. It doesn't matter what people think. So that's kind of my deal.
One of the most important things that I've been able to do to manage my music is use Airtable database. I'll throw a link in the description. It's an affiliate link, but that is what I would recommend you do. Start putting your songs into a spreadsheet type of thing using Airtable, and start categorizing your music with the number of views that each one gets, the link to the YouTube video, the tempo, where you bought the beat, how long it took you to make the beat. And so by organizing, you'll get better understanding of how your music is performing. Another option for you is to use pCloud cloud storage. I'll put an affiliate link in the description for that, but that's where you want to physically store your music. And for my producers out there, the ones who are making beats, even people who are selling music, Airbit music hosting is another great solution. I have an affiliate link. I'll put that in description. Airbit is one of the early contenders that I was aware of that will allow you to really sell and lease your beats and get people interested in it.
And then when it comes to selling your music, DistroKid is a great option. I think it's about $20 a year, but you can upload unlimited music. They send money directly to your bank account, not necessarily PayPal. I like DistroKid. I have been using them for a while. I have many albums on there, and I'm recommending it to you because I personally use it. Link in the description. And a new affiliate program that I joined called Pro Audio Star. Full disclosure, I've never purchased from here before, but they have a pretty legit website, and you can buy production equipment, DJ equipment, keyboards, guitars, drums, live sound, lighting, software, recording. So they got a whole bunch of stuff on here. This is where you could potentially go to purchase something. So say, for example, you can't find it in stock at like Guitar Center or something. You can easily go here and check out what they got. Like right now I'm seeing an Audio Technica AT2020 for $99. Audio microphone. That's good. You got earbuds. So they got some stuff on here. And again, I am an affiliate, and disclosure, I haven't purchased here before, but this place does look very much legit. Obviously, I wouldn't have applied for them if I didn't think so. But when I look at their about us page, it looks like they have a warehouse in Winchester, Virginia, and they've been serving since 2006. Shipping, we provide free shipping on most items via FedEx within the United States. Most orders will require a signature upon delivery, and so that's pretty cool. And they do international orders, but the customer's responsible for all duties and taxes and charges, which is pretty common. Most items are refundable. So this, like I said, I wouldn't have joined this if I didn't think it was legit. I'm not sure how much I make on the commission, but I'll put a link for that one in the description too, just in case you need to find something and you can't find it somewhere else. This brings us to the end of the show. I really appreciate you listening. Again, don't quit. Music is very tough. It's very, competitive, as they say. But when you focus on yourself and owning your craft, in my eyes, there is no competition. I encourage you to click on the link in the description to visit the article that I've written, and maybe you'll be able to see some of the links and some of these sites that we talked about. I'll put images to their home pages there so that you can get a better idea of what's going on. Keep on working hard. Don't give up on your dreams. Believe in yourself. I'll see you on the next one.